All right. All right. Hello. Welcome to a Metroid Prime any percent speed run. I guess we could just start. Are you ready on the timer? All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! Good luck.
Woo! Thanks. All right.
So I think we should introduce ourselves.
Mhm.
Um, I'm Memory TAS.
I'm Claris.
And I'm Venmi. Ah, shoot. Oh well. Um.
Oh,
So one thing to mention is one of the biggest parts of movement in this game is abusing the fact that this game has no speed cap sideways whatsoever. Um, so we take advantage of that in a variety of ways.
So for whatever reason, despite the fact that they have a dodge move that makes you go faster, they didn't think to add the sideways speed limit and only added a forward one.
So if
yes.
you let go basically mid move like that, let go of the L button that locks on, you can just fly.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's roughly 3 times faster than walking forward, if not more.
I'd say it's closer to 4 times faster.
Probably
It's
closer to 4 times faster. Yeah, it's
yeah,
This is the original version of Metroid Prime. Later versions of Metroid Prime take out tricks and like including like the PAL version, the player's choice version, finger quote, because it's more
yeah,
than just player's choice, but
gross.
and of course trilogy all take out tricks.
Yep. So coming up, there's a an elevator you're supposed to go up and go around this room. However, I'm going to be doing a reposition clip basically.
This is a relatively recent find, like in the lifespan of this game, which pretty much had like runners from the get-go.
yeah.
And
And
this game
this
came out in
game is
2002.
17 years old.
Ah, I was hoping to get it to do a ragdoll effect, but nope, didn't cooperate with me.
Yeah, that pirate can do some pretty funny things if it gets on top of you.
Don't know why it works, but yeah. Oh. Well, I guess good luck to me.
Uh,
No, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna safety save. Sorry, I have to safety save because if I mess this up coming forward, I'm in trouble. That means I
yeah,
gotta do this again. Oh well.
this run starts out really hard right off the bat. So a safety save here is definitely a good idea.
All right, so Parasite Queen.
Oh no.
I gotta get in a good spot. But basically, all you need to do is hold hold up on the C stick, and you can just press missiles, and it does a rapid fire. And you can just aim at her mouth. Normally, you're supposed to scan her, and then you can lock onto her mouth because you're not supposed to manual aim in this game. It's really not designed for it. Um,
Yeah, so the rapid fire missiles, if you're holding up on the C stick, then that cancels the cooldown after using a missile. So you can just freely spam them, and it does a ton more damage per second that way.
A
all
lot of
right.
people are familiar with the YA method where you switch between like the missile button and the beam button, but that's ultimately slower than holding up on the C stick.
Oh, by the way, I'm about to go out of bounds.
Yep, just casually pop out of the wall.
So, for whatever reason, somebody tried morphing in this corner to find a different trick entirely and ended up falling out of bounds.
That's Metroid Prime for you.
All right.
There's not quite as many out of bounds spots in this game as Echoes, but there's still a
Oh,
few. Ooh. Um, Out of bounds movement in this game is very finicky. There's differences between the fifth like the controls of this and Metroid Prime 2, which you saw yesterday. And one of the biggest differences is that it makes like out of bounds movement a bit trickier in Prime 1.
Yes, it's what she's doing right now is much more difficult than what was being done last night in the Echoes run for the most part.
Got it.
So basically, every room like is. I really don't want to say it, but
Don't say it.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Every room is surrounded by an invisible box. Go ahead, explain from there.
All right. So basically, inside the room is like inside the box is like considered playable area. Outside that room is what we call ether. In ether, you don't fall unless you're a morph ball, and you slowly float. And you can't jump unless you exit the ether and press jump within 3 frames.
Yeah, this is a 60 frame per second game, so 3 frames is like 1/20th of a second.
Oh, and unlike Echoes, if you fail it, you cannot recover. So that's why I usually do it in specific spots, because I go into the corner of the room's box.
Yep.
Really fun, except not really.
So if you fall, you instead land on a different part outside the box.
So you might have noticed that she technically skipped the item skip trigger. Unfortunately, there's a second one right when you land on the planet. So no, it doesn't skip losing the items.
Yeah.
If you somehow find a way to avoid getting placed in a
by the way,
trigger that is placed by a cutscene, you would skip it, but have fun changing your position during a cutscene.
So yeah, that trick I did to get space jump boots really early is incredibly broken.
That was found like year 1 or 2, like I think maybe year 2 of the game coming out.
I wonder when it was found. Like
I think it was found in like June of 03, if I remember correctly from what I was hearing from the history.
Yeah, this game has a well-documented history.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's way better than like a lot of other games to documentation.
It's typical in Prime games to have some of the easier tricks be extremely broken, and some of the hardest ones to save like 20 seconds. Very, very typical.
There is a way to do that, the space jump first trick on PAL, but it's much harder.
Alright, so I went to grab missile so I can shoot things, and E-tank so I don't die. The difference between any missile expansion and the missile launcher is just one fancy cutscene. They function exactly the same, so a missile expansion will give me 5 missiles. No matter what. And I'm just getting Morph Ball. And there's a fight trigger that I completely skipped over, so I didn't have to fight them at all.
I really hope you like this upcoming music, because it's going to be playing for a little bit in Chozo.
I don't. I'm not gonna fight them. It's too hard. It's too hard for me.
Yeah, we're 9 minutes in. Already skipped 2 bosses.
Would you really consider that a boss, though?
Yeah, a mini boss.
I guess. All right, so this room coming up, I'm gonna pause in this room because the door in front of me won't open until every adjacent room's been loaded, unless, of course, you pause for whatever reason.
Yeah, I truly don't understand it.
There's only specific rooms that do it, and that's pretty much the only one that comes up.
It's possible in other rooms, but that's the only useful room.
Yeah, like literally the only other rooms it's possible in is if you try to immediately go through a door you just entered from, which is like you would never do that in a speedrun.
At least I hope you're not doing that in a speedrun.
Yeah.
Hopefully. You know, I love going back and forth between doors and not really having a purpose for it.
Woo, charge beam.
Excuse me.
So combat won't be a massive pain now.
What, you mean you don't enjoy mashing? Like, what is it? Like, what is the cooldown rate? Like, every 7 frames?
Yeah.
I think it's like every 7 frames, yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very important that I shoot down that save station door for later.
Yes. Very, very important, because if you don't do that, you're stuck later on.
Yeah, there'll be an upcoming trick where it's very important that door gets hit.
I mean, you could just go all the way back to the elevator.
No. No, why would I do that?
Well, if you forgot the missile.
Well, I didn't, so I guess we don't have to. Alright, this fight... Wow, sorry. This fight is pretty random. Basically, I have to sit here and wait until the weak point pops up. And
Yeah.
there's up to 35 seconds of variance.
Yep. The first time it
Yay.
comes up, there's up to 5 seconds of variance, and the remaining 3 times, there's up to 10 seconds of variance. So it's literally just weighing a random amount of time until you can hit the boss.
Yeah.
Which
Usually
is...
your phase is considered decent if you, if the music doesn't loop.
I believe the record right now is 51 in the game.
It is 51 in game time.
Justin and I believe that's it. No one else.
I mean, officially only.
Yep.
Wow, this is terrible.
So, the randomness in this fight was, like, added by a programmer that has actually interacted with the community a number of times, Zoid. And we like to blame him every time it takes too long.
I mean, the boss is named after him now. What's Incinerator Drone? I don't know what Incinerator Drone is. I only know what Zoid is.
He also added another very random element much later in the run.
Which hopefully I'll skip.
Oh, so people are going for it now? Sick. Like, that was just found very recently.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Within a week, like, or so.
Alright, so now I'm actually doing things in order. After bombs, you usually go get Varia's suit next. I could get Ice Beam first, but not in this route. There's no need.
So, in the previous route, we did what was called Ice Beam before Flagra. Now, because we're really bad with names, we still do the same trick, but we do it after Flagra, so we call it Ice Beam before Flagra, after Flagra.
This community's so good at naming tricks. Alright. So a cutscene boss is coming up. Flagra is the boss in the next room over, and it does not take much real time to be... Or, sorry, it doesn't take much in-game time to be able to kill her. And the difference between the two, real time is the amount of time that's going every second. Well, in real time, and in-game time is the timer only ticks up when you have direct control of Samus, and we base our timings on in-game time.
And in this part, the in-game time, there's not a lot of in-game time ticking up.
Oh, these aren't actual bomb triggers. Like an actual bomb trigger, the morph ball has to actually be in the slot. But with this, as long as the bomb actually hits the slot, it works. I don't know why. I think it's the only ones in the game that work that way.
I imagine it has to do with how it interacts with the boss. Claris would know more, probably.
And we just use space jump and scan dashing, and this fight is made really, really, really fast.
So it's pretty much now all cutscenes.
Oh, that worked! That actually worked!
Nice.
Nice. So yeah, here's a 34-second cutscene, and it's going to be followed by like a 34 to 36-second cutscene right afterwards.
Stupid question. Did you save before this?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Screw up.
Yeah. Please.
Just don't. You know what? We'll talk about the trick after I do it, because now I'm nervous. Okay. So the next, I'm just going to explain a little bit of it now. The next trick is going to involve going down a room called Sun Tower, and the only way back up is with Spider Ball and Super Missile. But I'm gonna get myself stuck in a corner and get myself back up. And yeah, if you fall down, it's over.
Like, I literally just realized, like, oh wait, I didn't see you save.
I don't, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. The moment I enter the room, actually, I just need some quiet. I'm just gonna take some quiet time now
All right.
to do this. Okay, we're good.
Nice.
That's always scary in marathons, because I have failed before. If you were here for the Echoes run yesterday, you saw Grand Abyss, and that's a one-try trick. This is much easier than Grand Abyss, but it's still one shot.
Yeah.
You can sort of recover sometimes.
Sometimes. It really
as long
depends
as
on
you don't fall all the way down. Like,
Yeah.
if you screw up a little and you can recover, it's really complicated, like, actually, like, optimizing it, but...
Alright. So what you can do with these ghosts is you can stun lock them by hitting them before they start dashing. That was a
Yeah,
little
so
early.
the reason we did that trick, or she did that trick, is this ghost fight wouldn't start until you drop down that room and hit a trigger down that room. So you drop down into that room and then stop your fall and then climb back up. And if you didn't do that, you'd have to come... The intended way is you have to come back with Spiral Ball and Super Missiles later on. And that's a lot slower.
Really?
One weird thing about the ghosts is that you can actually, like, make them appear if they're invisible if you shoot them.
Like that. Letting these cutscenes overlap saves like a half second of in-game time, I think.
Woo!
I mean, plus you're just in an optimal position.
All right, so that's early Chozo. So next, I'll be heading into the next major area of the game called Magma Caverns.
Yeah,
The
so
main purpose of Magma Caverns is basically as a connecting web to every single other area in the game.
yeah, so also she just got the first artifact. That's one of 12 artifacts you need to get to the final bosses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so unlike Echoes, where you need to actually have a few select, you need to have at least one visor, dark visor, in order to get any of the keys. For the artifacts, you just whatever is needed to enter the room is all you need. So I can collect them on the way.
Interesting thing about Varia is that it's definitely possible to skip. It's just slower for the most
Slow.
part and riskier. And like there's basically no benefit unless
Well,
you just want to. But
there is an artifact.
gravity and phazon suit both give you Varia effectively.
Yeah, both of them give you heat protection, but it's kind of hard to get to either of them without various suit. I don't think you can get to either of them without going through Magmor at least once.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Whoa, that was a good dash.
So I'm just gonna
That's it.
skip. I'm gonna skip most of this room, hopefully.
Yeah, Magmor is really cool to see fast and really difficult to do so at times. So it's cool to see her get through it smoothly.
One thing you
One of the
might have
best
noticed
ones.
throughout this game is that she's been standing on like what happened?
No!
Oh! But one thing you might have been noticed, like throughout this game, is like she's been standing on pretty much any cushion. Basically, almost any cushion in this game you can stand on.
uh, Out of bounds was used like right at the start of the run, so there has been out of bounds already. But we will be seeing more really soon.
All right, so this cutscene I'm gonna let play out for a little while. It makes Samus step forward a little bit, which saves about a second of in-game time.
Yes, it is bad that you only know the music because of Smash.
Oh, ooh, that was bad. Oh well. Sweet.
There's a bunch
Abuse
of go ahead.
abuse almost everything in order to do sideways movement instead, because there's no cap.
Yeah. So like, there's a bunch of other movement techniques besides the scan dashes. There's also like L jumps where you hold L and then let go of it at critical times, and then R jumps where you sort of swing Samus around sideways. And then there's bunny hopping, and which just maintains speed. Like,
Yeah, so
boost
now she
pulse
has.
is really important for obvious reasons.
It is really, really fast.
Yeah, that's it. Gives you a generally easier alternative to dashing. Boost can get to around the same speed as dashing when unmoved can.
All right, so supposed to go get Space Jump after Boost and then come back for Wave, but I already have Space Jump, so... Instead, I'm going to do this. I'm going to dash over here. Which is not intended. I'm going to jump out of bounds here. And the goal for this is to get... Yikes. Two things. Wave Beam and the Artifact of Sun.
So normally the game, like, wants you to have Plasma Beam in order to get Artifact of Sun, but VenMissa is about to do a trick to get it very early.
All right, that was pretty clean.
I'm always terrified watching that room.
That room's not fun. Anyway, if I come in this corner and I hold a very specific angle, where is that angle? There. No? There we go. All right. So all I'm doing now is I had to hold slightly down of left, and now I'm just holding straight left. And what's happening is Samus's rotational speed is getting faster and faster, and it's going to get to a point where it's not going to process, or it can't the numbers, it can't go past a certain number. So it will go to what's called not a number. And when you boost and it has not a number, it has some interesting properties, including touching a variety of actors that are active at once. In this case, Wave Beam, Artifact of Sun, I think at least one enemy, and the cutscene of Samus entering. So that's why you see two Samuses.
This general glitch was first found in Prime 2, and was actually, for the longest time, used in Prime 2, long before it was widely used in Prime 1. Now there's no uses of it in the Prime 2 speedrun, and only 2 uses of it in the Prime 1 speedrun.
I am so...
Spoilers.
That trick is a huge part of what made the current route, what makes people use the current route, because that makes it much faster. The current route was proposed much before that trick, but wasn't faster until it was found.
Alright. So we will never see this side of Phendrana ever again, so bye.
Yeah, so it was explained before, but just to explain it again, because it's definitely a confusing trick. She increased her rotation speed to so high the game couldn't handle it anymore, and so it really messes up your interaction with other objects, which led to touching a ton of objects at once when boosting.
So normally you're supposed to use Boost Ball there, but I instead did what's called an R jump to gain a lot of speed across, and you know, don't need that Boost Ball
There's like a ton of ways across that gap.
Yeah.
You can dash, you can R jump. There's many ways. I was hoping to do a bunny hop across, but that didn't work out. I'm gonna stay quiet for this room. Oh no! That room is really awesome when done quick, but I hit the back wall. Oh well.
You didn't get stuck in the lava.
That's very true. I have gotten stuck in the lava before, because sometimes you get stuck when boosting.
there's some just weird little things that happen in these games for seemingly no reason at all. Getting stuck in the ground is one of them. Another funny one is when an audio loop breaks and decides to loop for the rest of the game.
Yeah, there are seriously cases where you could have like the charge beam sound or the no spell sound just loop forever and never stop, and you're still on the mission final screen at the end of the game with that sound effect still playing.
Alright, so now I'm heading back to Chozo. The main goal is to get Ice Beam now. But a few stops along the way. Oh, like that. I got stuck for half a moment.
Yeah, she got out of it really quickly because she unmorphed, but if she didn't unmorph, then she would just be stuck there, like like a stuck tire, basically. Just
Oh, by the way, you're supposed to have Spider Ball for this. And Boost Ball, but you don't need either of them.
Yep. That's this game in a nutshell. You're supposed to have this, but you don't need it.
Alright, so here's Artifact of Life Giver. So I just need to go out of the way to get this. Now we'll be on our way to get Ice Beam.
Yeah, small little detour aside from that.
Oh, that's fair. Alright, I'm gonna go for it. Let's see. Do you count... Would that count as a hole-in-one?
Definitely.
Well, why wouldn't it?
Stuck.
I didn't get stuck. I didn't move at all afterwards. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm confused why that's debatable. Like, that was definitely a hole-in-one.
Oh no, it was a little slow. Oh, by the way, I can just do this and still make it on time. I don't need to hold L at all. So why this room? Oh, if I just hold down left and this happens again. Samus' rotational speed increases, and the goal is to get the power bomb that's on the other side of this room.
Yeah, so when we say it's increasing, we mean exponentially. Like,
Like, I think the max speed it can hit is like 2.1 billion.
I think it's much higher than that, even.
No,
Like,
it's 32-bit float, if I remember correctly, which isn't that 2.1 billion?
Would it be?
I think 32-bit number is 2.1.
That.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a float. That sounds slow. I don't know.
2.147 billion, as being said in chat. But yeah, once it gets past that speed, the shell disappears and you get to do infinite speed. Oh, and this room takes longer because it lags.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's definitely nowhere near as high as it gets as it's a float.
Oh. Floats are different, okay.
Oh yeah, people
So
have
this is why
done a
the
lot of
safe station is
research.
important. Oh.
Yeah, Yeah, the save station is important because if you had morph here,
This happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
That.
let me actually save.
Oh yeah. Definitely do that, please.
The save station like like forces a certain like position like state and like position and speed state, and that cancels the visual glitch. Well, it's more than just a visual glitch, but
Oh, by the way, I'm out of bounds again.
so you technically don't even need to do this at this point. Like you could get like ice beam like inbounds at this point, but it's just faster to do it out of bounds because it skips a room and it allows you to do another trick later.
Yep.
A lot of tricks you see VenMissa doing aren't actually required for the route, but like the current route is really flexible in that way, but you can add additional tricks to make it harder, like and faster.
Oh. Oh well.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I gotta sit and wait here a little while. Oh well. Oh. Not as long as I expected. There we go. Really? I'm just being super safe.
Yeah. So, right here, she has to make sure she goes out of the way to actually load the next room instead of going straight for the door first.
The game has invisible load triggers placed everywhere to minimize the amount of time you spend waiting at a door for it to load the next. Not too bad.
Yep, it could have been much worse, so I'll take it. But yeah, that's the low triggers that Memory was talking about was why I seemed like I was just randomly morphing and then bombing a certain spot is to hit a low trigger.
It's possible to force a room to load without hitting those load triggers, but it's
Ooh.
slower.
Yeah, there's the potential to crash.
Yeah. Depending on how like large the rooms are in memory, it can potentially crash. Because by forcing a room to load, you don't actually unload other rooms.
Yep, so if too many are loaded at once, it crashes.
Yeah, some people will say it's like a generic if there's 3 rooms loaded at once, it crashes, but we are about to reach a room where in intended gameplay there's like 6 rooms loaded at once. So that's not
Wait, is this
quite
room
true.
actually one of, is it this room?
Yeah.
They're all loaded at once? Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I think there's something messed up in that they all load and then something makes them unload, but there is a point where everything is loaded at once in that room.
Wow.
So this room is kind of infamous in that doing it the normal way can get you stuck somewhat at times. So people honestly just do the bomb jump instead to get to the missile faster.
That room is awful. It like and you look at the we thought the collision was very bumpy. We looked at the collision, it's completely smooth. Oh, the trigger for this power bomb is way up there. So if you just boost up that rock, you can power bomb and it'll blow up sooner. And then the zoomer I killed earlier has or I think it's a zoomer. No, it's not a zoomer. What is it? I don't remember the name, but anyway, it has a 100% chance to drop a power bomb. Basically a fail-safe for anyone who would go in there casually and not have a power bomb.
Which, you know, would be very easy to do.
Yes.
So
Really, really easy.
Seed
No,
blade.
normally you're supposed to go around and fight some ghosts at the top and drop down a hole, but I'm just going to do a jump here instead, an R jump, and get across. Wow, the room was nice to me.
I just looked it up. They're called seedling.
Seedlings, that's it.
Yeah, so now she has X-ray. That'll be useful for one single boss later on the run. But,
that's actually the main reason why why doing that detour to get power bombs saves a lot of time, is to be able to get X-ray that early in the run.
Yeah. The trick to get power bombs was so that you can get X-ray right after Ice Beam.
All right, so the next goal is to go to get to Plasma Beam, and the fastest way is to go through Talon again and then over to Magmore. All right, I'm gonna try something here. Got it. Nice.
Ooh, that dash can definitely be pretty annoying at times.
That dash is basically, I landed on a small branch and bunny hopped off the branch. Nice. Don't ask about that. All right.
So Venby, why did you just... Back to Magmore.
Yep. And we're gonna do another skip. Well, I'm gonna do another skip. Normally you're supposed to have Spider Ball for this upcoming room, but I don't have it, so I need to figure out another way to get across. So I'm just gonna bunny hop across.
Metroid Prime very early became people try to figure out how much can you skip.
All right, this one's pretty recent, but you can skip two of these three boost ball slots. So, oops.
Ow. Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And getting out of this lava is an absolute pain.
By the way, lava is water
the
that
only one.
hurts.
So that's the only one that I know, or that I need to do. Because you can do a dash here, a jump onto a specific spot here, and jump across here. This skips a bunch of stuff. Skips grapple beam, spider ball. This entire spider track you don't need to do. Whoop. I tried to do an R jump to get across there, but I failed it. But thankfully there's a backup.
Yeah, very thankfully there's a backup, because that is a long way down.
but pretty early, like after the game was released, like the goal was to find ways to skip pretty much everything. So low percent was a huge part of this game's like development as a speedrun. A lot of tricks were found like in order to advance low percent.
All right. So Fendrana, I mentioned that we were never going to see the first side of Fendrana ever again. Um, but we're going to see the other side. Far Fendrana. There is a few things we need to get, mostly artifacts and thermal visor.
It's really convenient that right past plasma beam is elevators to pretty much the two remaining locations you need to go. There's an elevator to Far Fendrana and an elevator to Faith on Mines.
Wow, I can't believe I hit that. Alright, so you normally need grapple beam for this room, but I'm not going to use grapple. Oop.
The reason she came to this side of Fendrana is for two artifacts. But there's also another item that's not required, but it's really nice to have.
Yeah, for a few reasons. Final boss, and there's one room that's really dark. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you have no idea how difficult making that gap is.
It's really hard.
Did you aim for it in the segmented run back today?
Um,
Yeah, there's too many grapples to skip in Prime 3. There's like 5.
You skip ship grapple.
ugh, that was rough. It's at least one grapple is skipped. There's 5 of them in corruption, I think.
Yeah. And you skip one of them. At least it's the most stupid one. Ship grapple beam.
Ooh, nice. The box gave me a power bomb.
Oh yes, it's definitely really annoying to get a power bomb drop here sometimes, and you need to get one.
So the power bomb expansions work the same way as main power bombs. If you get a power bomb expansion, it'll increase your power bomb count. Unfortunately, you only get one. Did I? Give it to me.
Farming for a power bomb can really suck if you don't get it right there.
There's a couple other good places to get one, like right here.
Yeah, sometimes the game will just refuse to give you a PB though, and
Oh, I
it's
knocked that control tower over by jumping over the game's. There's a barrier, and you can just jump over it and shoot a missile.
yep. What you're supposed to do is like go de-ice a window and then wait for that window to be clear and shoot missiles through the window, but you don't have to do any of that.
I don't like my health right now. Thankfully, there's an E-tank right here.
Yeah, it's always nice to get more E-tanks in marathon runs.
Alright, so this is the item that Memory was talking about that isn't really required, but it's nice. And it doesn't cost much time either.
It might appear to cost a lot of time, but keep in mind, this game goes by game time, and this is all cutscenes.
I'm so glad I grabbed that E-tank.
Yeah. This room can be really horrible at times.
Yeah, I think the worst instance was going from 1 E-tank, 80 health to dead.
Damn.
Yeah. Alright, so from here, thankfully there is a hub to the last major area of the game, which is Phazon Mines.
Yep.
This is one of the really convenient things about this route in particular. You just go straight from Vendrana to Phazon Mines, like halfway through Phazon Mines. You don't have to go down like from the main entrance.
Yeah, so what I just killed there was in fact a Zoomer, and it also has a 100% chance to drop the power bomb. So there's a couple of things that require power bombs, so we utilize the 100% drop rates where we can. Because otherwise, in many cases, 2 and 7, and that's not fun. This game isn't really nice with drops. It's not like Echoes where it checks what you don't have.
Yeah, there's like a table of drops somewhere.
Oh no, this is definitely one of the most annoying rooms in the game because it's so tall.
At least you fell down with base jump.
Oh, you don't want to imagine falling down in low percent when you don't have space jump.
Well, you wouldn't have space jump in low percent.
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh, so I'm just going to use this guy and bounce off him.
Ouch.
Ooh, okay. Ah, didn't hit the door. Alright, so the Elite Pirate coming up, I'm actually going to fight. And the thing I'm going to try to avoid doing is go in front of him. Because you can just stay to the side and do this. Rapid fire missiles. And he spins around like an idiot and doesn't get you at all. Alright.
Yeah. Like, when they first appeared, they tried to face you before doing anything, so if you never let them face you, they'll never be able to do anything.
Alright, I'm gonna try this. This trick was just discovered on Friday, so... but there is a way to skip having to go through this entire maze. Ah, I fell in. Oh well.
Time for
Yeah,
a
if you fall
45
in it-
square.
Huh?
It's a 45 square. Have
It's
fun.
a 45 square. Okay. Assuming I go this way.
Yeah,
we're good.
right. Oh, well, I
This
shouldn't say what because I'm like several
Y-
seconds behind. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have any help at all.
That's fair.
this this maze is like the other main thing that that one programmer added that was random.
Yeah. What I was trying to do was I was trying to go into the maze just far enough and then bomb jump out. And from what I've been hearing, there's only 2 frames where it works.
The maze
Wait a
layout
second.
is
Nope.
random,
Another
so
another safety save because there's a trick coming up. That
Yeah, please
oh
safety
yeah, that
save.
trick.
Please safety
Yeah.
save.
That's important to safety.
I'm gonna safety save. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's 300 different layouts for that maze. They're like pre-made seeds. And the shortest you can get is 15 square, and the longest you can get is 55 square. So there's a lot of variance in how long that maze can take to get through. She got a 45 square, which is
Bad.
definitely on the higher side, unfortunately.
Alright, so I'm gonna use this Metroid to get across this room. Normally you're supposed to land on some invisible platforms that you can see with X-ray. And you need Spider Ball. Except I don't. So what I'm just gonna do is have this Metroid come over here and dash off it and get across.
Thing is, I don't think even skipping Spider Ball like saves that much time like with this route. Like you lose like 2 minutes or so, maybe.
Yeah.
Like you can route Stardust pretty easily, but
Alright.
it's still faster, so
Okay, this room. There's a glider. And the goal is to get on top of the glider and use it to get out of bounds with. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. So I'm on top. And I'm out.
Ooh. Yeah,
That is not an easy trick.
it is not an easy trick. So, remember
and
back
it's
in
not even
Destiny
over.
Q16?
Hmm?
Remember back in Destiny Q16 when you were learning?
Let's not talk about that. Claire is here is like, oh, let me show you first try every time, and I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, it's like I would just, if you was trying to learn it, I would just pick up the controller, and I really didn't have much experience with it, and I would just get out of bounds first try.
Oh yeah, so it's very easy to soft lock here. So I'm gonna be. I have to be very, 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 very careful. I think that's good. Ooh. All right. So yeah, I got stuck there. Let me check what time we're at.
Oh,
59. Should I try it again or just go for the safety save that's just like 2 rooms past this? What are your thoughts, both of
I
you?
would say go for it again.
All right, I'll go for it one more time.
So, in case you didn't get it, like basically her positioning was slightly off, and so she you're supposed to basically boost through the wall, but if your positioning is slightly off, you're not able to.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have a safety save that's like 2 rooms past this, so if I'm struggling to get it, we'll just hit the we'll just go to that file instead.
Yeah. With a safety save, I'd say it's definitely worth going for it again.
Yeah. Figure I can at least try and get it. Since the Metroid's far away, I'm just going to use this instead. Ooh. Yeah, that worked. Wait, what? I didn't kill that Hunter Metroid. Oh well. Yeah, all the Hunter Metroids in the room need to be dead. Otherwise, this will not work out. Uh-oh.
I don't like that.
Nice.
Yeah, neither. Okay, I'll stop talking now. Apparently.
Oh, so that glider actually just goes very, very slightly out of bounds, which is why that clip even works in the first place. Okay. Thankfully, a standable spot there. I don't like that position, so I'm going to try again. Again? Really? Alright. Alright. I'm going to go to the backup save. It's only like 2 or 3 rooms ahead, so it's not really much is going to be missed. Gonna have way less E-tanks, too. Oh well. Yeah, fun trick. It's killed so many runs. Alright, so I'm gonna head a couple rooms. So I'm just gonna head right over to Omega Pirate, which is the boss after getting Artifact of Newborn. And the whole purpose of that is to not have to backtrack over to the artifact, doing early newborn. Because normally you have to kill Omega Pirate and then go back. Alright, so Omega Pirate works in the same way as the Elite Pirates. Just don't get in front of him.
However, once you destroy the four plates on his like shoulders and legs, things get a bit more complicated.
Oh, nice. That actually worked.
Oh, so laying a
I'm gonna be
PB
safe.
there will skip part of Omega Pirate's animation where it turns invisible, but also if you do it at the exact right time, it also prevents the beam troopers from spawning.
So Omega Pirate only has 60 or 600 HP. And so what I'm doing is doing charged plasma shots. And then laying a power bomb, pulling out X-ray visor. The way Omega Pirate works is that he will spawn in the pool furthest away from you and will not spawn in the same pool twice. So I can completely manipulate his position.
Nice gravity suit.
Gravity suit? So yeah, the game gives you the next suit in the sequence, and since I had Varia's suit last, it shows gravity, but I do have Phazon. At least in the cutscene, it shows the next suit.
Yeah, another fun fact that Samus's arm, when you hold R to like put her arm on her arm cannon, is still very
Seriously.
Doesn't it require like going through an elevator for it to update?
Yeah. See, it's still orange.
Or
Yeah,
I
so-
imagine reloading a save.
Yeah, reloading the game or going to a different world. Like going to Talon or Magmor or whatever. But until then, she's just still got a yellow hand.
In the game's internals, the different areas are called worlds.
Yeah, I do so much like
Oh, I just skipped
modding of this game that I've just used to call it. Yep.
Yeah, I just skipped a fight trigger by jumping over it. There's a very, very small gap you can squeeze through.
Yeah, so she went through that room twice. The first time she just jumped on the pirate's head and left, and the second time she ignored it altogether.
Alright, so what I just attempted to do there was a bomb space jump. Basically, I have 21 frames upon leaving the ground to
about a
jump.
third of a second.
Yeah, about a third of a second. To land here. And then I'm basically going to be getting stuck, or not, along the side of the spider track.
Yeah, this trick is definitely really finicky. Like, every single part of it.
Oh, wow. Really?
Oh. Yeah, this is really hard.
This is not easy.
This and another room we called the spiderless shafts, and were a key part in making like a route faster without spider ball. The only other way to like skip spider ball would be to take the other elevator and then go to the front of mines. that way.
Oh.
Or to use out of bounds, but that's slower.
Should you try going forward to the one in front of you? I've always found that easier.
The one to the side has always been easier for me.
It's like it's faster to do it your way. I've just never been good at it at all.
Yikes, I nearly lost that one.
Oh, yeah, that was scary. But we're at the top. She just randomly gets stuck against the spider track by jumping against it because this game's collision is cool.
Oh, and this room sucks
Another-
because of this rock.
There's another spider track elsewhere that you can just straight up walk up the side. And
So, she got through both shafts.
you might be confused at what's happening. There's a wall, but it's invisible because you're on the wrong side of it. You're never supposed to go through that wall before.
Yep.
Yeah, so she's going through the room backwards, and
Where?
So-
There you are.
fortunately the collision's weird enough for that wall from the other side that it's possible to pass through.
Same thing with the other elite pirates. You just go along the side. This one takes a lot more missiles. It takes 24.
Yeah.
And then you can put both these cutscenes one after the other to save a little bit of time. Ooh. Should be able to get up, no problem.
Yeah, sometimes overlapping the cutscene causes this, where the platforms, not all the platforms actually lower. But it was fine in this case. There are much worse things that could happen. That happened?
Yeah. Oh yeah, damage boosts give you a ton of speed.
Sometimes you don't want that speed when you're doing precision platforming.
Yep. So there's 2 artifacts to go now.
Oh yeah, so I'm abusing the collision to completely skip that puzzle. 1, because I don't have Spider Ball, and 2, because it's extremely slow even if I did. I'm also skipping Grapple Beam because nobody likes Grapple Beam.
That's not true. Kirby Master likes grapple beam.
Ugh. What? Why would anybody like Grapple Beam?
He
Oh,
will
to be-
find every opportunity to point out when grapple beam is faster than screw attack in Prime 2.
Fair enough. And to be fair, it is used in Randomizer. Which, if anyone's interested in the randomizer for this game, you can go to randomizer.metroidprime.run. But yeah, so there's 2 artifacts left. We're done with all the major areas.
Yeah, there is a prime randomizer.
Prime randomizer and a Prime 2 randomizer. And don't expect a Prime 3 randomizer anytime ever.
Yeah.
Eventually, someone will come along who has that knowledge and can make a Prime 3 randomizer. It will happen someday.
Well,
We just
It's
don't
not
know what
knowledge. It's just
yeah, it's more the
motivation
caring.
you once.
It's the care. Well, that's true. I'm talking about the knowledge and the caring. It's a mix of both.
And yes, the randomizers these days do have logic to them, unlike years ago. So that's not something to worry about.
Alright, so there's a ghost fight trigger here that still exists, even though I skipped this room. So I have to make sure to avoid it, and there's a couple places. So I jumped over it here. I have to make sure not to fall down. Ugh. Well, falling down there is fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Landing on the peg is surprisingly precise. Watch me.
Thankfully, there was a setup found recently that makes it a lot easier.
Oh, I was unaware of that.
Yeah, hold down right, mash Z or X, and then the moment you unmorph, switch to upright.
Huh.
Thank you, DF. Oh, I need to do a slope jump here, which is gaining more height off a slope in order to get up to the top. Because the trigger is still there.
So basically, when you walk up a slope and then jump, the game just adds the speed from walking up the slope to your jump speed.
Alright, so we got it. Or I gotta go get one more artifact. Thankfully, it's in the room where you actually need to turn them in, so. That's a thing. Can I get this dash a second time? Ugh, never mind. At least it was a good backup. What? Alright. So I'm gonna go to the ship, just to save and restock on missiles, power bombs, get my energy back.
The ship basically refills everything
Yes.
in pretty much every Prime game.
Nice. Oh yeah, one interesting thing about not having Spider Ball yet having Phazon suit. There's no model for a non-Spider Ball Phazon suit, so it defaults to the Varia one.
I agree. Strong
Yes.
agree.
Strong agree, girl.
Girl.
Or
Alright, so we'll see if I can get this upcoming trick. There is one frame after shooting Ridley a few times that you can use to skip what's called flyby. Why? Ah, that was early. Yeah, it's one frame, and it's not a frame perfect button press, it's a frame perfect button release. With a
Yeah.
boss that can sometimes be in a different location.
Yeah, so there's no right way to judge when to even release it.
Alright, let's see if I can get this. I don't think that worked. Oh, it did!
Oh,
Wow, how did that work? Alright, anyway, Boost Ball has this funny little property where it deals 50,000 damage per frame. Just to give you an idea, a missile deals 30. A fully charged charge beam shot deals 50.
I think better frame of reference is what's the most health any enemy in the game has, like any boss.
I know Ridley has like what 2,800 for the ground phase or for the flying phase.
Yeah, so like that's quite a bit of overkill. This is the only boss in the game where boost works though. It's simply a damage source thing where if a bosses can be immune to certain damage sources, and o only Ridley is vulnerable to boost.
Yeah. All right. And if you think all the tricks are done, well, there's another major one. But yeah, so last year it was discovered that you can clip out of bounds in one room by using a Metroid. And you can skip the entirety of the Metroid Prime Exo fight.
The weird thing is, a different way of like accomplishing the same thing was theorized for the longest time, but it was never like there were like unofficial videos of showing what would happen afterwards, but like it's really
There's
hard
no
to
way to
predict.
get out of bounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get the Metroid trapped in this room. If a Metroid goes into the wrong room, it will just immediately die. But I can do that. I'm running into this wall as a manipulation strat, and I'm not even joking about that. So, come on. So the Metroid's going to go over there. I'm doing a setup to put the Metroid in a specific position. All right. So basically what happens is it'll push you in this corner, and there's a very tiny hole that you can clip out of. Oh, whoops. Of course it wouldn't be first try.
We're just adding to the anticipation right now.
Yep.
At the very least, you can very clearly see that the Metroid is repositioning Samus. The hope is to have it reposition you down through the hole.
It might be it's just barely too low. I'm gonna reposition the Metroid. Oh, nice. Not wanting to cooperate. There we go. That should be better. Should be, but it's not. Come on. Get out. Wow. This is among the worst attempts of this trick I've had in a long time.
Yeah, with how hard these games are, these kind of things just happen sometimes, unfortunately.
Oh, and It just happened surprisingly. Nice.
Oh.
No, I managed to get into the box. Or into the ether, so we're good.
Woo! Out of bounds.
So what I'm doing is I'm ether jumping to get back up. Ugh. I'm having the easiest time of this right now. I'm looking for the corner of the room's box, which is right here. Alright. Alright, so I have to be very careful because there's a trigger in this next room that will put me back in bounds, and that's not what I want to have happen. Alright, I passed it. Cool. No, not cool. Come on.
This is just terrifying for me to watch right now.
Yeah, if you know more about what's going on, you know how much exactly can go wrong.
There's so much that can go wrong. There is a, for example, there is a trigger.
Yeah,
Over
a second
here.
trigger, which puts her inbounds in a different spot. Except
And
this one,
soft locks. There's nothing you
yeah,
can do.
this one puts you like into the first arena.
And doesn't activate the fight. Cool. Oh, that was perfect. All right, let's see.
Oh, the. Okay, I thought you failed because the stream just went down on my end. Well. Okay, got it back.
All right, so I'm hitting basically the transition triggers in each of these rooms. And I get to skip all the subchambers. And there we go. The entire Essence Exo fight was skipped. And by the way, the music is going to still play.
Whew.
Okay. That wall crawl was not that bad. It was the secret world that was really, really yikes. But
If you skip the cutscene too early, the Prime final boss music doesn't play.
Oh no.
she's not in an absolutely horrible spot. Alright, so what I'm doing here is doing what's called an attack cancel. This will get Metroid Prime to lay the pool faster.
I'm having bad thoughts of if you had the music play and you have to listen to the music and
Yikes. As long as I don't have to suffer through it. Alright, so going in and out of the pool will cause it to not drain. Although it will drain by itself after a certain period of time, so we just let the rest go and time. Sorry, I should have mentioned time earlier.
GG.
Oh boy, how far above? Oh, that was 4.5 minutes over. Oh.
Yeah, this is a Metroid Prime game though. That just happened.
Yeah, that early newborn happening twice was rough.
These games are hard.
Yeah.
You did well with hand you were about.
Yep.
Thanks. Oh, by the way, the music's still playing. Still playing. Finally stopped. Yeah. All right. So thank you, Claris and Memory, very much for joining the commentary. Metroid Prime 1 will be ran at SGDQ, but not by me. It will be run by Justin DM. So tune into SGDQ to see Metroid Prime 1 and 2 any % back-to-back during SGDQ. Anything else you two wish to say?
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I was glad to be here. Thank you for letting me join you. And check out the Metroid Prime randomizer. It's pretty cool.
Yes, again, randomizer.metroidprime.run. All right. In-game time's gonna... Oh, wait, it doesn't really matter because I have to reset twice. Anyway.
You load the safety save. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like
exactly. It doesn't matter at all.
So, bye. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.